Guinea has confirmed 2 new Ebola cases almost 3 months after it celebrated the end of the outbreak. 3 other members of the same family are suspected to have died recently from the virus. The cases were reported in the southern region of Nzerikori, where the outbreak began in December 2013. The Ebola outbreak killed more than 11,300 people, mostly in Guinea and its neighbors Sierra Leone and Liberia. The new cases in Guinea were reported by the World Health Organization hours after it declared the latest Ebola flare-up to be over in Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says a yellow fever outbreak in Angola that began late last year has killed 158 people. This raises the death toll up from 50 a month ago as deaths from the disease accelerates. Health officials say there has also been an increase in malaria, cholera and chronic diarrhea in the capital Luanda and other cities, partly due to a breakdown in sanitation services and rubbish collection. Also, Kenya has confirmed 2 cases of yellow fever for the first time in about 2 decades. Both cases were imported from Angola. Now, to get more on this, I spoke to Dr. Anthony Akimen, president of the African Pharmaceutical Forum, who says the risk of an outbreak in Nigeria is quite low.
Yellow fever is one of the communicable diseases which can be prevented truly by vaccine, and that's why most countries will insist that you immunize the children, including adults, and it's caused by a viral organism. Well, and I remember those who call it flavirus denus, it's the virus that causes it. And it can be transmitted by a certain type of mosquito. But those mosquitoes are not very common in our environment. But it used to be. And if you recall, at the last count, it's about 14 years ago we actually had an outbreak in Nigeria. Since then there have not been. But it's made compulsory for people to go on it because of urbanization. Nigerians travel a lot, and in some countries it's a requirement for you to enter the country. So it is important to give the vaccine. As I said, that's the only treatment. Most of these viral countries, you don't have tablets or so for it. It's only by vaccine.
Can this virus be transmitted person to person?
Yes, that's why it's dangerous. That's why you immunize people. For example, a dose can last 10 years in somebody's body, 1 dose. And then only for pregnant women, we give booster doses. And the only reason because they are pregnant, they carry more load, so we used to give them a booster dose.
Well, Dr. Anthony Akimen, president of the African Pharmaceutical Forum, who says the risk of an outbreak in Nigeria of the yellow fever is quite low. Now, it is estimated that more than 5.6 million people do not have enough food to eat in northeast Nigeria and the border region of Chad and Cameroon due to rising fighting and insecurity. In some areas, malnutrition rates surpass the World Health Organization's emergency threshold. Therefore, the World Food Programme is asking for $123 million until the end of the year to respond to growing needs in the Lake Chad Basin.
In recent months, the increase in fighting in the northeastern part of Nigeria and the border region of Chad-Cameroon has led to a surge of refugees and internally displaced people, amounting to the largest recent displacement crisis in Africa. More than 5.6 million people do not have enough food to eat in the areas affected by the Boko Haram crisis. In some areas, malnutrition rates surpass World Health Organization's emergency threshold. Milia, an improvised settlement, is spread out over 12 kilometers on the shore of Lake Chad. 5,000 people displaced from villages on the islands of Lake Chad have been living here since June 2015.
They've lost their homes, they've lost their livelihoods, they've lost their belongings. They need to get it back. This is going to take time, effort, we need resources, but we also need great collaboration with the actors on the ground, with the communities, providing the additional support that was already being provided by those who were here.
Across the border in Nigeria, Cheskoan is a community hosting informal settlements of displaced people from Kukawa local government area and Damasak areas heavily affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. Some 50 displaced families are living here in the classrooms of Al-Fido School. In northern Cameroon, in the areas worst affected by the Boko Haram violence, the number of people in need of food has doubled since June 2015. Over 1/3 of the people who live in the region face hunger. Over 70% of the farmers have abandoned their fields. Nearly 160,000 Cameroonians have been displaced from border areas due to insecurity, while 70,000 refugees from Nigeria are also being hosted in Cameroon. WFP said they need $123 million until the end of the year to respond to growing needs in Lake Chad Basin. To date, only 17% of the required funding has been secured.
And that's it on The World Today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temitope Fagbemi.